Good evening, good evening. So the first thing we were going to go over tonight is the equation of the line. So it's two things they might ask you on the GED exam: the slope from a graph and the equation of a line. Usually what they're going to do is they're going to ask you, they're going to give you an equation, and they're going to ask you what graph corresponds to that equation. What we're going to do is we're going to get the equation of the line from the graph. So the first thing, hey, Brandy.
Hi, Mr. Tinsley. How you doing, sir?
Doing pretty well.
Good, good.
What did you work on this week? You've been working on what?
The quadratic equation.
Quadratic. I got something ready for you. All right. So first of all, when you get a graph, the first thing I want you to do is identify if this slope is positive or negative. So if I asked you, is this slope positive or negative, what would you say?
A positive.
Why would you say positive?
Negative side.
So it doesn't matter what side it's on, but from the leftmost point to the rightmost point. So this is the leftmost point. What direction is it going?
Down.
Down. So that makes the slope negative.
Okay.
So from left to right, if it's going down, it's negative. If it's going up, it's positive. So we know the slope is negative. So if you had multiple choice, anything with a negative slope, with a positive slope, you could get rid of.
Okay.
Second thing we're going to notice, what's the y-intercept? What's the y-intercept? What is the y-intercept? Do you know what the y-intercept is?
No.
Okay, the y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis. So where does this line cross the y-axis?
Is that -1?
Negative. So the y-intercept is -1. Okay. So we identified that the slope is negative. We identified the y-intercept is -1. So now we want to find the slope. In order to find the slope from a graph, the easiest way to do it is rise over run. So now you can start from any point. I usually start from the leftmost point. So in order for me to get to this, from this point here to this point here, what direction do I have to go? So rise is up or down. Do I have to go up or down first?
Down.
Down. Count with me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay. So we now know the rise is what kind of 8?
Negative.
-8. Okay. Now we got to do the run. What direction are we going for the run? To get to the second point? To the right. So count with me. Well, you should see it's 10, but let's count.
It's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Is that positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive. So can -8 over 10 be reduced?
Yes.
So what number, what's the greatest common factor that can go in 8 and 10?
2.
2. 2 can go in 8 how many times?
4.
4 times.
Negative.
And then 2 can go into 10 how many times?
5.
5. So our slope of this line is what?
-4 over 5.
-4 over 5. Our y-intercept is what?
-1.
-1. So if our y-intercept is -1 and our slope is -4/5, what's our equation of the line?
It's y equals -4x minus 1.
-4x
Over 5.
-4 over 5.
I'm sorry, 5.
-4/5 x minus 1.
Minus 1.
So that's how you find the equation of the line from a graph. First of all, identify if it's positive or negative. So why, Mr. Tinsley, why no other teacher told me to do that first? The reason why I'm telling you is because they're usually going to give you multiple choice.
Mm.
So if you know it's negative, you know you can at least get rid of 2 of those answers. At least then you got a 50-50 chance of getting it right. So even if you don't know how to do it, if you can tell whether it's positive or negative, you can get rid of 2 answers. Got me?
Yeah.
We good? We good?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So now quadratic equations. I had a question about quadratic equations. So let me look at now, Brandy, do you mean solving a quadratic equation or factoring a quadratic equation?
I would say it's more so the solving it, Mr. Tizzy. The factoring it got pretty easy. So you showed me a little trick for that one, so I was cool with that one. But
Okay.
it's more so like the solutions. I get a little mixed up with the solving them.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. I have a blank one open. I do not have a blank one open. Do you have a quadratic equation in mind right now, or do you want me to get one?
If you could get one, Mr. Tansky.
I can make one up. It don't matter. I got 1,000 of them in my head anyway. All right, so I'm just gonna make one up.
Okay.
M squared. Let's do plus 5x minus 24. Okay, so first of all, is this a quadratic equation?
Yes.
How do you know it's a quadratic equation?
Because this 2 is the highest something. I can't remember the
Right. So the highest
I
degree,
know what it means.
the highest degree in this expression is to the second power. So this is a quadratic equation. Now we can solve this by factor, but it's certain things you need to know. First of all, I know the last term is negative, right? Correct?
Yes.
So what do we know about signed numbers is that if both are negative and you're multiplying, you're going to have positive. But if both were positive, you're going to get positive. So right away, you should know that your solution is going to have a positive answer and a negative answer.
Okay.
So now, second thing you should do is, this is a x squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Well, it doesn't say 0. When you have a quadratic equation, you want to just assume that it's equal to 0 so you can solve. Okay. Well, Mr. Tinsley, standard form got an X, and this formula has M's, right?
Right.
Does that matter?
No.
The variables does not matter, even though I wrote M and X. Nobody even noticed that. I'm glad you didn't.
Wow. No.
So M squared plus 5m minus 24. So the first thing I want you to do, if A is what?
It's going to be 1.
A is 1. B is what?
5.
Or 5.
C is what?
Minus 24.
Minus 24. So real quick, let me say this. What if my equation was this? Is this a quadratic equation?
Well,
Is this a quadratic equation?
Yes, it's just not negative number.
Right. So no, I'm asking you added too much. All I'm asking, is this a quadratic equation? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Why is it a quadratic equation?
oh, because the 2 is still the highest degree.
Right. Exactly. So it's still a quadratic equation. Is this in standard form?
No.
No.
No. This is the mistake that most people make.
So
what we want to do is, in order to make this standard form, we have to subtract this 24. It has to be equal 0 on the other side. So
how you make it
if I
0.
subtract 24 on one side, subtract 24 on the other side. So I'm going to have m squared plus 5m minus 24 equals 0. Now this is in standard form. Now you can identify your A, B, and C. So A is 1, B is 5, C equal 24. Does everybody know where I got those numbers from?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The second part is to, since if A is 1, I want you to find the factor pairs of negative 24. Factor pairs. What 2 numbers can you multiply together to get negative 24? And I'm going to start with 1. Okay, I always start with 1 and I just go up. 1 times what is going to give me negative 24?
Negative 24.
Okay, the next number in line is 2. 2 goes into 24. 2 times what? It'll give me negative 24.
Negative 12.
Negative 12. 3 goes into 24. 3 times what? It'll give me
Negative 8.
negative 8. 4 goes into 24. 4 times what to give me negative 24?
6, -6.
Negative 6. 5 doesn't go into 24.
No.
6 goes into 24, but we already did 6 already.
Right.
Okay. So now on the other side, so hold on, Mr. Tinsey, I thought you told me 6 and negative 6 are not the same number. So what do you mean we already have 6? Because you should already know that on the other side, I'm going to change the signs.
Mhm.
So on the other side, I'm going to have -1 in 24,
Right.
-2 in 12, -3 in 8, -4 in 6.
Yeah, so right there.
Okay. So now these are all my factor pairs. The next step is to find what pair
It's gonna give you 5.
is going to give me 5. Which pair, when I combine together, is going to give me 5?
-3 and
Negative.
-3 and 8. So to factor this, you're just using those numbers exactly the way you see it. So m-3 in parentheses times m plus 8.
Mhm.
This is factor. To solve it,
Do the opposite.
you got to find the zeros.
Right. Okay.
Because that's the whole key. Find the zeros. Where is this going to cross the x-axis? So the opposite of -3 is what?
+3.
+3. The opposite of +8 is what?
-8.
-8.
So your two solutions are +3 and -8. That means if you plug those numbers into m² plus 5m minus 24 equals 0. If you plug these numbers in as m, you should get 0. If you plug in -8 into this equation, you should get 0. That means it, because why? That equation is now valid because it's now equal to 0. So any other number that you plug into this equation will not equal 0. Got me?
Yes.
So factored is m-3 times m plus 8. Solving it with values of x that will solve this quadratic equation are 3 and -8. Got me?
Got it.
That's the only difference. Now, the other part of this, again,
Keep working at these.
what if they gave you answers? If they gave you answers, you don't have to do any of this work. So, for example, if they gave you A is 3 and 8, B is -3 and 8, and I'm gonna run out of room, so I'm gonna move over here. C is 3 and -8, and D is -3 and -8. Okay, to me, I don't have to factor this because I know what an equation means. That means whatever I have on one side is going to be equal to what I have on the other side. So what I'm going to do, instead of doing all that factoring and identifying A, B, and C and finding the factor pairs, and then I don't have to do all that because let me erase everything. Let me save it. Let me erase everything on the left side. I don't have to do any of this. If they give you the multiple choice for the solutions for a quadratic equation, all you got to do is plug them in. So I'm gonna take my calculator. I was doing some, is this, no, slope stuff. Take mine, let me clear everything out first. I'm gonna take my calculator and I'm gonna store those variables. Get right there. So the first A is 3 and 8. So 3 store X. Oops. 3 store X. Well, where are you getting X from, Mr. Tinsley? Well, this quadratic equation has the variable M. Can I use any variable?
Yes.
Yes.
So since those, so only variables I have on this calculator are X, Y, Z, A, B, C, and T, I'm not going to worry about M. I'm just going to replace X everywhere M is. So first answer is 3 or 8. So I'm going to put 3, I'm going to store 3 as X, and then I'm going to write X squared plus 5X minus 24. I should get 0 if 3 solve this quadratic equation. Did I get 0?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I know 3 is a possible answer. So I know it could be A, and I know it could be C. It can't be B, it can't be D. So now it's either 8 or -8. So I'm gonna do the same thing. 8 store X type in my formula, type in my quadratic equation. X squared plus 5x minus 24. Did I get 0?
No.
No, you got
So I
80.
know it's not A. So now it's easy. My answer is C, 3 and negative 8. I'm done. That's with no algebra. That's with no factor pairs. That's with no standard form of a quadratic equation. That's nothing. That's nothing. It's easy. Okay? So remember, that's what an equation does. Any value that you solve an equation for should be equal. So no. So hold on, Mr. Tennessee. So what I seen something like this. For example, m squared minus 5m equal 24. Okay. Here, you don't have to put it in standard form. Okay. You don't have to put it in standard form. So if I say 3 store x squared minus 5m, or 5x, I should get what? Remember, I got to get whatever's on the other side of the equal. I'm going to hit enter. Did I get 24?
No.
Okay. So minus 3 store x squared minus 5x. Did I get 24?
Yes.
Yes.
So I now know negative 3 is a solution. Let's try 8. 8 store x squared minus 5x. Oops. Minus 5x. I should get 24 again.
Yep.
There you go. You don't even have to waste your time. And this is why I tell you, practice, 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 practice. Listen, listen to tell you. The more practice you put on the Schoology, when you get to your test, you get to the GED test, you're gonna fly through. It's gonna be like, oh, I got this, I got this. Okay. Let's see. I saw another one people had problems with. Where is it? Hold on for a second. Hold on. I marked a whole bunch of stuff this morning and last night. I had a good weekend, but here we go. Now remember, I don't want you getting discouraged if you score 50 on my exams or 60. If you score 50 and 60, you should be happy, because now you should be fine tuning to make sure you get you in that range, that 70, 75, 80, because then when you go take your test, you're going to fly through. Remember, you only need a 55 to 58% to pass the exam. Where's the one I'm looking for?
Mr. Tinsley, can I ask a question real quick?
Yes, you can.
Well, because I have been hearing it buzzing, but is it true that the test has gone up in price?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Not that I know of. Not in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Well, I'm here. I'm in Ohio. I'm in Cleveland.
But usually they go up all together. So maybe they did go up. So what price did they say it went up to?
Well, at first it was like 120, right, for the 4 parts, if I'm right, Sharon, and then it went up to 144.
Oh, I ain't hear that.
Okay, so this is why. So hold on, let me make sure. Let me log into my account. That's a 1. Let me log into my account. Let's see if that's not true. Let me log in right now. Because what I believe was happening, okay, is that they went up because they got to pay for a proctor if you take it online. So I believe the test has gone up if you take it online.
Okay. Versus going into an actual testing site.
I believe if you go into a site, it's still 30. I'm actually in my GED.com account right now. It has gone up. You are right. The test went up to $36. Yep. You're 100% right. I just logged in. I'm going to send a note to my director, because nobody knows this where I'm at. This must have just happened.
Wow.
This must have just happened.
Because a lot of the educators where I am, they are stating how Schoology, when you are having to start to either pay or anything, you know, they're saying like, that's a really good site. We all use that. So they're kind of like buzzing about that as well.
Yeah, well, Schoology is a good site in general. It's an LMS. but this is what you got to realize. Like, they don't have the tool, the resources that I have. I built this
Right,
whole site on Schoology because it was free. You understand?
right,
Because it was free. So I wouldn't have to charge anybody. But as of
right.
October 1st, Schoology will not be free. So
Yeah.
people will have to move their stuff. So it's two things. So somebody asked about functions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's two things you're going to have to do for functions. Evaluate it, something like this for number 2. So all you do is take -3, and everywhere you see x, you're going to put a -3. Okay, so 2. Now, this is where people make the mistake. -3 squared. -3 times -3 plus 7. Is that correct? Everywhere I see x, I put -3. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay, so if I did this, I would get 2 times -9 plus 9 plus 7. Is that correct?
I would say yes.
Okay, so we get -18 plus 9 plus 7. -18 plus 9 is -9 plus 7, which is -2. Is that correct? I'm going to give you a head start. No, it is not. But this is the most common mistake people make. This is what I need you to do when you are trying to evaluate a function. If they give you a negative number to plug into these, I want you to put that negative in parentheses. Because now, according to the order of operations, I'm supposed to do exponents first.
Yeah.
-3 squared is the same as -3 times -3, which is not -9,
Positive 9.
positive 9.
It'll be 34.
So the answer will be 34. This is one of the most common mistakes that people make. Very important. Now, what I would tell you is, don't even waste your time doing this problem.
Yep.
What I would tell you is, again, just like you just saw me solve that quadratic equation,
Go to the
store
Yeah,
x is -3, and then plug the expression in. 2x squared minus 3x plus 7. Done. 15 seconds. That's what I would tell you to do.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. So, again, I would do it by hand. While you preparing for your exam, I would do everything by hand. That way you can have a conceptual understanding of how to do each problem. But the second thing I would do is then use the calculator. Because then your test, you want to be as fast and accurate as possible. The second type of problem for functions, and this is a common mistake that people make. What it says is, which ordered pair describes a point that should be removed from the graph so that the graph represents a function? Does anybody have? So you look at this problem, and most people think, you know what, I should either take this point away or this point away, because then I have my line. No, that's not what you're doing. That is not what you're doing. Remember, in order for something to be a function, for every x, there is only one y. Again, this is one of the most missed questions on the exam. They could give it to you as an ordered pair. They could give it to you as a table. They could give it to you as a graph, as you see here. So when x is, hold on, what is x? If you notice, this major tick mark is 5. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. On the y's, though, your major tick mark is 10. So this is 2, this is 4, this is 6, this is 8. This is a common mistake people make, because on the GED, when you're in class, it's always they going by ones. But in real life, a graph could be ones, tens, or hundreds, or thousands, 10,000. It could be those. It could be anything. So here, for every x, when x is 1, how many points do I have? 1. That's fine. When x is 2,
4.
I only have 1 point. When x is 3,
It's this one right here.
I
Yes.
have two different Y's.
Yes. It's 3, 7.
So it's either 3, 5.
Mhm.
It's either 3, 5 or 3, 7 that must be removed. So the only option that's in this multiple choice is 3, 7.
Mhm.
You're going to see both the two of those problems that I just went over. You're going to have an exam. They're on every single GED exam. Okay, so you got to be ready for those. So that answered about the quadratic equations. That answered about the equation of a line, and that also answered the two things you are responsible for functions. Is it a valid function or evaluated function? That's the only two things you're going to have to do on the GED. Now, I'm not saying you won't have to do other things on AccuPlacer or college entrance exam. For the GED, since as far as I know, of course, there ain't no guarantee if they change the exam, but as far as I know, for the last, 8 years, these are the only two things you have to do with function. We did that last. We did system of equations last week. Anything else? What's the next question? Anything we have hit? Okay, let's do this. If I'm not using the calculator, well, if I'm not, well, well, if you got put the eBook, you should know how to do this problem easy and be able to plug in X and Y. But if I was doing this by hand manually, how would I find an equation of a line from 2 points? How would I find an equation of a line from 2?
When you have to use the point slope formula?
Point slope formula? No, you can't use point slope yet.
No. Okay. Oh.
Y2 over Y1.
Y2 minus Y1
What?
X2 minus
That's
X.
That's the formula I was talking
That's
about.
the slope formula, but it's a slope
formula.
when you got 2 points. So we're going to call this X1
Y1.
and Y1. We're going to call this X2 and Y2. So we're just going to plug it in. What's Y2?
Y2 is 3.
3 minus Y1 is what?
-3.
So again, what did I do with that -3? I put it in what?
Parentheses.
X2 is what?
X2 is -2.
-2 minus was X1?
1.
So I don't want you getting confused. Okay, this minus sign here is this minus sign here. Okay? So now, let's finish this off. 2 negatives make a what?
Positive.
So that becomes 3 plus 3. And this is minus 3. This is 6 over -3. This reduces 6 over -3 reduces to what?
-2.
-2. So we know the slope is 2. What's the
Right.
slope of A?
The slope of B is -6.
Okay, well, it can't be A. What's the slope of B?
The slope of B is -1/2, -1/2,
So
-1/2.
So it can't be B. So
So you
the
got
last two equations have a slope of -2. So it could be C or D.
Yeah.
What's the next step now? Now that we know the slope, what can we do now?
Now we can do the point slope form.
Now you can
Yes.
use a point and the slope. Now I'm not going to use the point slope formula. I don't like that. I don't like
Okay.
So use a point and the slope. But I had a student yesterday. She uses the point slope formula. Okay, but I don't like using the point slope formula. Will it work? Yes. What I would rather you do is plug in
Okay.
what you know into the slope intercept form of a linear equation. So I'm gonna use a point. Which point do you want to use? It doesn't matter. You tell me the first or the second point.
First one.
Okay, so we're gonna use this point here.
Yeah.
Y is what?
Oh, y x y. Y is -3.
-3. Equal the slope we said was what?
-2.
-2. We're gonna multiply that by x. X is what?
X is 1.
1. So you might be sitting there, well, where's she getting these numbers from? Remember, when you have a point, it has an X and a Y. So that's where we're getting that x and the y to plug into our slope-intercept form. So we get -3 equal -2 plus b. In order to get b by itself, we got to get rid of the -2. What's the opposite of -2?
It's positive.
+2. Whatever we do on one side of the equation, we do on the other. What's -3 plus 2?
-1.
-1. We bring down our equal. The 2's cancel. We bring down our b. So
Yep.
we know our y-intercept is -1. We know our slope is -2. What's going to be our equation of the line?
Y equals -2x minus 1.
Here we go. Okay, real quick. We said our slope was -2. Because somebody brought up these point slope formula, I want to use it. Okay, now I like my way better.
I like
It's
your
okay.
way better too.
So if we look at the point slope formula, that's the point slope formula.
It's confusing.
Again, this x1 and y1 comes from the point. From your, oops, I'm going to do red. X1 and Y1 means the X1 and Y1 from your point, from your first point. So Y minus Y1 is a -3 equal, the slope is -2 times X minus X1 is 1. So we get Y plus 3 equal -2x plus 2, because we use the distributive property. -2 times x is -2x. -2 times -1 is a +2. We subtract 3 from both sides because we want to get y by itself. Y, the 3's cancel, bring down our equal, bring down our -2x. -3 plus 2 is -1. Did we get the same exact answer? Did we get the same exact answer?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So it doesn't matter which way you do it. Whatever's way is comfortable for you, the way that you understand the most, use that way. So if you want to use point slope, use point slope. That's fine.
I use your way. I don't use that way. I just know that was the correct way, what you're supposed to use.
Okay. Yes. So why I do that is because I want you to, why it's called point slope is because if they give it to you in this way, you can tell what the point is and what the slope is.
Yes.
So if you ever see an equation that has y, I'm just going to make this up, y minus 5 equal -6 times x plus 2. Right away, I know that's my slope. So if they ask you for the slope is -6. It's nothing for you to do. If they ask you for the point, again, x, y. So again, minus, so you take the opposite of this, which is -2. You take the opposite of this, which is 5. But they're not going to ask you that. But they might give you an equation in this form, and they might ask you for the slope. All you got to recognize is the number outside of that parentheses that's going to be multiplied by x, that's your slope. Now, you normally see that on the high set or the task. I haven't really seen it on the GED. But if they do, now you're prepared. All right. What's the next question you have for me? Anything you've been working on?
Yeah, I have a question because I was on the eBook and I went through that. Okay, it's a problem. It's a word problem that I didn't get. It says you just got a free ticket for a boat ride, and you can bring along 2 friends.
Matter of fact, hold on. This is what we want to do. You said it's from my ebook?
Yeah, because I've been here.
What page is it on?
It's on, that's the answer page. Wait a minute, let me see. It's on page 60.
60. It's funny because I laugh because I wrote the book.
Yeah, it's actually all of them. 1, 2, and 3.
My computer is messing up and I don't have it
Page
in my.
60.
Where are you? should be right here somewhere in my list. Yeah, my computer been messed up. I need to delete because what happens, I save all these files on my computer. So I got so many videos that it's filling up my hard drive. It's making it act a little weird. Let me see if I can find it. I think this is it. Let me open it up. I think this is it here. Is it right there? I'm gonna clean up my computer. I promise I will. Was that it? Here we go. Let me take off that. You said page 60?
Yes.
Not page 60.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all of them.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, what I can tell you is, you're not, if you have one, you might be, this is called permutations and combinations. So what happens is, you just got a free ticket for a boat ride. You can bring along 2 friends. Unfortunately, you have 5 friends who want to come along. How many different groups of friends could you take with you, right? So the reason why I looked at, called it this is so you can see it. If I got 5 people, I have to choose 2.
Okay.
So, so let me show you by hand. So you got friend 1, friend 2, friend 3, friend 4, friend 5, right? If you bring friend 1, there's you could also bring friend 2, or you could also bring friend 3, or you could also bring friend 4, or you could also bring friend 5, right? If you bring friend 2, you could also bring 3. You could also bring 4. You could also bring 5, right? Because the reason you could also bring 1, but this is already accounted for right here, so we don't have to count it again. So if you got 3, you could also bring 4. You could also bring 5. You could also, okay, then you could also bring 5, right?
Yeah.
So now, then you have to count each one over and over. So one, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's too long, correct?
So do you multiply?
So what happens is, on the calculator, I wanted to show you a way that's much easier.
Okay.
Okay. So if you notice, you'll see this here that says PRB.
Yes.
And if you have PRB, you'll see PR, CR, and you hit what's called factorial. So let me show you what a factorial is first. So I have 5 factorial, right? What that means is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. That's all a 5 factorial means. So that's 20, 60, 120. So if I did 5 factorial, 5 factorial, you would get 120. So I showed you got 120. Now, 5 choose 2, again, let me clear the screen. I gave you the formula and then showed you how to do it with the calculator. So, if you were doing this, 5 choose 2. Okay? So, you have 5 factorial divided by 5 minus 2 factorial. This is the formula for choose. So 7 choose 4, 5 choose 2. So this is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 over 3 factorial, which is 3 times 2 times 1. So if you notice, the 3's are canceled, the 2's are canceled, 1 are canceled. So you got 5 times 4 So you got 20 different ways that out of those 5 people, you could pick. There's 20 different ways where you could pick 2 friends to go with you, right? What I tried to do was say, listen, there's 2 things you're going to have in GED. You're going to have permutations, you're going to have combinations. So if you see something where you have to choose, or they give you a certain amount, you got to choose from there, then what you can do is, now you could do it this way. Or you can grab your calculator and say, again, was it 5, choose 2, right? 5, choose 2. And then you're done. Instead of you having to do all the calculations. Now, what you're probably going to see, okay, they tell you you have to know permutations and combinations. What you're probably going to see is something like this, though. You got 5 meats, 4 vegetables, 3 starches. How many total combinations could you have from 5 meats if you picked 1 meat, 1 vegetable, and 1 starch? 5 times 4 times 3, 60. That's what you're probably going to see. The number of different combinations. Now, permutation and combinations could take a week to show you, for you to fully understand. So in the book, what I tried to explain is they either going to give you a choose, 7 choose 4, 5 choose 2, or combinations. Combinations, you just multiply. Permutations, you're going to do that, choose. But again, I showed you a quick way so you don't have to waste time a week, because I can almost guarantee you will not have, not even your first college course, you're going to have permutations and combinations. It's really like it's really like, usually when you get that in probability, it's probably like an advanced 12th grade course. So what I would worry about is like combinations. So if they said you got 5 meats, 4 vegetables, 3 starches, how many different combinations of dinners can you have if you picked 1 from each? 5 times 4 times 3. The choose, I would just learn how to do it on my calculator. I wouldn't even waste time even fully understanding. Know what you're looking for when they say, okay, I got 5 total and I'm choosing 2. Okay, I know how to put that in my calculator. You know what I mean? Because this learning this and when to do it takes a while. And to me, it ain't worth it ain't worth the time to pass your GED. So this is why, that's what I would say. So I tried to show you how to do it by hand, and I showed you how to do it with the calculator.
Okay.
All right, what's next? I love it though. I love it. I love it. I love it. I got a lot of stuff in here.
Yeah, because I went through the whole.
Listen, I just spent 2 weeks and did all this in like 2 weeks. All right, give me one more before we gotta go. It is 6. Oh, we got a couple more. So we got 15 minutes. Give me another. Let's see. What else we got? Any more questions? Anything else? Let me see. Let me look back at school. You see.
Could you do one of those word problems?
Which one? From where?
I'll let you decide. I just wanted to see exactly one.
Nice, good word problem. Nice, good word problem. Oh. So you can't see the answers. Let me give you a question. Let me see if I can see. Let me hit preview first. This is the announcement where they saying October 1st will no longer be free. Right. So, it's okay. Because I'm trying to switch over thing to Canvas. I got about 2 months to get it done, because this is August. Got all August and all September. Hopefully I can get it done. Because it took me a long time to get that course ready. It took me longer to get that done than actually write the book and get the website up. So what I was doing, like every month I was doing another assessment. All right, so you tell me a problem that you see. So this is a practice GED from Schoology. And you tell me a problem that you see that you want to go over. Let me reduce it here. What is the mean monthly? That's everybody, most people know how to do that. How about this one?
We can do that one.
Okay, this one. All right, this is fairly simple.
That's what she
Earned $8.55, 36 hours the first week,
and that's
40 hours the second week. So if you want to know how much they made per hour, this is the thing, per hour. So dollar per hour, dollar per hour.
Yeah.
See what I just did?
Yeah.
Dollars per hour. Power per means division.
Yep.
So the amount of money I have is $8.55. The total hours I worked was 76.
Okay.
Just throw that in your calculator.
That's cool.
Yeah, that problem is that you should have all the. Well, if you didn't recognize
It's
it,
11:25.
8.55 divided by 76. 11.25. So this is why I have these practice tests on Schoology, is so you can see the number of different types of problems. Like say you didn't know how to do it, you could flag this for review, just like the real exam. So here, plans to have 20 computers for every 100 students. How many computers are needed for 1,500 students? What you have to recognize is this is the ratio that they give you. So 20 over 100. The second thing you got to realize is you need another ratio, because you need to know how many computers you need for 1,500. Well, when you set two ratios equal to each other, that's called a proportion. So this is your computers. This is your students. So you want the same thing on the other side of the equal sign. I want computers on top, students on bottom. Well, this is 1,500 students, so that means this is going to go on the bottom. And then I don't know how many computers I need. So 20 over 100 equal X over 1,500. What do I have to multiply 100 by to get 1,500?
Yeah, by 20 times 1,500.
No, what do I have to what do I have to multiply 100 by to get 1,500? 15.
Yeah.
Whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top.
It's 300.
It's 300. So 20 times 15, X equals 300. Now that's solving a proportion using equivalent fractions. Okay, this is the way I suggest first. See if you can solve it using equivalent fractions first. The second way I want you to do, again, 20 over 100 is equal to X over 1,500. The second way is finding the unit rate. Okay, so what it tells you is it's 5 students for every computer. So if it's 5 students for every computer, how do I know that? Because 5 students per computer. 1,500 students divided by 5 is 300. Still got the same answer.
Yep.
And that one is a little bit more harder to understand, so I probably wouldn't recommend that. Last way, 20 divided by 100 equal X over 1,500. You can solve every proportion this way, cross multiplication. 100X equal 20 times 1,500. Well, it's a big number. 15 times 2 is 30. How many zeros do I have? 1, 2, 3.
3.
You should know by powers of 10 that all I needed to do was 15 times 2 and add my zeros. Same thing. If I got to divide by 100, you should know by the powers of 10. Whatever, if my number ends in zeros, consecutive zeros, I can cancel. So I have 2 here. I can cancel 2 up here.
Yep.
So those hundreds cancel. I get X equal 300 over 1, which is 300. Okay. Proportions will probably be 2 to 3, maybe even 4 questions. So you got to be ready to solve a proportion. All right, let's next one. How about this one? I need to go over this one.
Yes.
Okay. So two things you can do. You can
Plug 'em
plug
in.
these in,
That's what I did.
like literally, you can plug these in. So, and this is a system of equations. So I can plug them in. So, but what you have to remember is that this is your X, this is your Y. So in the first one, -4 store X, -8 store Y. It has to be true for both equations. 3x plus 2y, I should get 4. Did I get 4?
No.
No. So I know it's not A.
Nope.
Repeat it for B. 2 store X -5 store Y. Plug in my first equation. 3x plus 2y. I should get 4. Did I get 4? Did I get 4?
Yes.
Did I get 4?
-4.
No. Did I get 4?
You got -4.
No. Listen to my question.
No, you didn't get 4.
No. Okay. That's the biggest mistake people make. 4 and -4 aren't the same thing.
No, I know. You
So
didn't
did we get 4? We didn't get 4. We move on to the next
Move
one.
on to the next.
X is -4. 8 is Y. So -4 store X. 8 store Y. Plug my first equation in. 3x plus 2y. Did I get 4?
Yes.
So
Yes.
that satisfies my first equation. But what is a system of equations? It must satisfy both equations. So now I'm going to plug in my second one. -2x plus 2y. I need to get 24. Done. That's no canceling. That's no elimination. That's learning how to use this calculator to pass this exam. And that's why I tell you, go through the ebook. Understand what an equation is. Whatever I put for X and Y, I must get whatever's on the other side of the equal sign. So instead of me doing all that, now, so let me clear the screen first. Let me maximize it. You won't be able to see everything, but you'll be able to see a lot of it. See, it's a lot that I did here. So I'll screenshot that, and then I'll screenshot the bottom part because I can't get it all. But now, the next part I'm going to show you is how you would actually do it. Manual. So let me rewrite it over here. 3x plus 2y equal 4 minus 2x plus 2y equal 24. So first of all, what you should recognize is I want to solve this system of equations by elimination. I want to eliminate one of the variables. So I see 2y and 2y in both equations. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this equation by a negative. Why? Because the opposite of 2y is minus 2y. So the first equation stays the same.
Yeah.
The second equation now changes. When you multiply by a negative, it changes the sign of everything in that equation. So I'm going to get 2x minus 2y equal minus 24. So minus 2x becomes positive 2x, plus 2y becomes minus 2y, and 24 becomes negative 24. What you should see now is those two y's cancel. I eliminated a variable. That's why it's called elimination. I get 5x equal negative 20. You should know negative 4 plus 4, since the largest number is negative, I know I'm going to have a negative answer.
Yes.
And then minus 24 plus 4 is minus 20. I divide both sides by 5. I get x equal negative 4. So when I look at my multiple choice, I know it can't be B. I know it can't be D. The only two answers that have x as negative 4 are A and C. Everybody understand that?
Yes.
Now I'm going to take this negative 4 and I'm going to plug it in to one of these equations. I'm going to plug it into this second one right here. So minus 2 times x is negative 4 plus 2y equal 24. Negative 2 times negative 4 is 8 plus 2y equal 24. In order to get y by itself, I first must get rid of the 8. So I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. I get 2y equals 16. Again, y is still not by itself. Y is being multiplied by 2. The opposite of multiplying is divide. Whatever I do on one side, I do on the other. The 2's cancel. Y equal 8. So my x was negative 4. My y was 8. That's how you would do this algebraically. What I'm saying is Since they give you X and Y, you can plug them in. Now, this is what they usually give you on the exam, and then we're going to go ahead and close out for the night. Where the study guide at? Where are you, study guide? Where are you? Is that you? No, that's not it. Is that you? No, that's not it. Is that you? That's not it. I done lost my study guide. There we go. Again, what they might give you is pretty straightforward. Here, what you should recognize is that they already cancel each other out. It's nothing for you to do. You just need to combine these equations. 8x equal minus 8. Divide both sides by 8. X equal negative 1. But if they give you a multiple choice of both X and Y, plug them in. I wouldn't even waste time doing it any other way, because you just saw me do it in seconds.
Yes.
But again, it comes with practice, knowing what you're looking for, knowing how to do it. So first, I will make sure I understand it conceptually, then use the calculator. So then when you go in your fly, most people who have a handle using this calculator and take my practice test usually finish 40, 50 minutes ahead of time. Okay. So again, is it going to take hard work? So listen, if you want to pass this test and you have a test within the next month, you need to at least give me an hour a day practicing on concepts, practicing in Schoology. Hold on, Mr. Tins, I got my own book. I got my own worksheets. You can use them, but I can't give you feedback. So then you got to wait to see if they're correct. That's wasting time. If you do it on Schoology, I'll have feedback to you within a day or two. Sometimes faster than that. Today, I marked 24 assessments. First thing in the morning, got to work early, marked 24 assessments in a half an hour. Again, why? Because that's important. I need to know, do I understand this? Okay. The only way you can do that is getting feedback. Once you score 75, 80, now you can go for 100, but once you score 75, 80, get to the next concept. See if you understand it. Practice, practice, practice. If you practice and practice using this calculator, you'll be fine. You'll practice, you'll pass with no problems at all. I just received a message yesterday from YouTube. This guy never came to class, didn't buy my ebook, failed 5 times. All he did was look at my YouTube videos for a month. Passed the test yesterday. Why? Because everything in the ebook, everything in my YouTube channel, everything that we go over on Monday is on the test. It might not be, I can't give you the exact problem. Of course, I can't do that. But the concept that I'm going over is on the exam. You will see it. So now, statistically, I got problems with word problems. Well, the only way you can conquer word problems is to do what? Do word problems. Ain't no magical thing that I can take a magic wand and say, you know how to do word problems. It ain't going to happen. The only way you can conquer word problems is to do word problems. Identify your givens. What do they want to know? Plug into my formula. That's it. That's it. That's the only way. Practice, practice, practice. Want to pass this test? Give me an hour a day. 30 days, you'll pass this exam.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Mr. Tinsley.
Everybody have a wonderful night. I got this wonderful chicken cheese steak with fried onions, peppers, mushrooms waiting for me right now. I'm going to go tear it up.
I had one early.
No, Mr. Tinsley. Have a wonderful week, everybody.
It's calling me. That chicken cheese steak calling me.
Well, go get it.
Everybody have a good night.
You too, sir.
Okay.
Bye-bye.